Hey guys, so I feel like it's time to finally give an update. I feel like I owe you guys an update on the car and what's going on with the Mazda. So for anybody who has been following along and is still following along, yes, I do still have the car. Yes, I am still rebuilding it. Yes, it will be back hopefully even before 2022. I should actually have first fired up this year since this time I'm doing it in my garage at home. That's exciting. So basically I'm going to go over what I have done so far and what is still left to do. Not much actually in the way of getting the motor out. So if we take a look, I have got everything disconnected, all the connectors labeled, just the way I did last time. This system works really well. If I know what the connector is, I labeled it with the name. If I don't know, it just got a number, and then the connector on the other end would get the same number. So 5 will match up to 5, 2 will match up to 2, 1 will go to 1. Very simple. Rear motor mount is disconnected, down pipe is disconnected. Trans mount is free, so on the trans side it's just hanging on the frame rails, just on the studs there. Passenger side, we've still got the 2 nuts there, but what I'll probably do is just pull the big bolts out of the frame rails and lift it all up together. Yeah, this is more or less ready to go out. As you can see, it's free. I've got everything unplugged, everything disconnected. I really hate how this harness just kind of has to stay in front. There's no better place to put that. I mean, it doesn't unplug unless take the whole fuse box out, but I'm definitely not messing with that. So that's what it is. But at this point, I am just waiting on my buddy to bring his hoist by, the hoist I used at the shop last time. He's gonna bring his hoist. We're gonna hook it up, we're gonna yank it, and it's gonna go to my friend's machine shop. So through my buddy, I have a friend of a friend, I guess, who now, you know, I've kind of made friends with, and he has an at-home machine shop. He actually has 2. One is kind of like assembly, one is machine room. It's a very nice setup. He does race engines for bikes, so just insane drag bikes. Maybe not the same as automotive, but all the tools are the same. All the terms are the same. All the measurements are the same. It's more or less the same, and I've already put one of these together, so any knowledge gap that he doesn't have, I should hopefully have the information. And so I'm hoping this time to, I mean, I did everything properly the first time, but I'm hoping this time to go maybe a little bit beyond and measure everything. Cam journals, measure the actual cams themselves, cam lobes, everything. Crank's gonna get measured. Micrometers, we're gonna measure the bores. Not that I had any problems with compression or even blow by or oil burning. So I'm guessing that the cylinders are probably mint. Probably just give them a quick hone to the recommended spec for Wiseco, and then just pop the pistons back in with new rings. I have ordered a set of piston rings. I've ordered a set of piston rod bolts because the rod bolts are only usable 3 times. On the 4th time, you need new ones. That's to do with the stretch. As the bolt stretches, it gets thinner, so inherently it gets weaker. That's why there's actually a stretch measurement, not just a torque measurement for rod bolts and many other fasteners, but maybe that can be another video. So anyways, I do know that some people have maybe thought that I got rid of the Speed or sold it or whatever the case, but that's not what happened. I do have the Civic, and we don't need to talk about this right now, but I love this car. It's a beast. It's gone to 7 track days. I've gone to 8 total this season, 1 with the Speed, which you guys would have already seen. That was the BMW track day, and then I've done 7 track days with the Civic, and I've got an 8th coming up this weekend. So this thing is, as the purpose was to be, a seat time machine. Okay. This thing is awesome, but that's not the point of this video. So yeah, just wanted to give a brief update on what is going on with the Speed and what we will be doing with it. So right now I'm currently waiting on our machine shop friend to clear space in his shop to get my motor in there and all my crap. He's got to kind of just finish whatever projects he was working on, clean off a bench, clean off a desk, and organize some stuff, because when this thing comes, we're gonna get cracking. This time around, any hardware that is either mismatched or maybe not the correct pieces, I'm replacing it. I'm going to the dealer. Every single bolt, every single nut, every single piece of hardware that is not matching. Maybe I used 2 of the same bolts here and a different one there, whatever. All of that's being replaced. All of it. Everything. So this V2 as they say, should be more or less OEM plus, with the built head and forged internals and manifolds. Other than that, it's going to be as OEM as it can freaking get. That's just something that I intend on doing this time. First time around, didn't do that. This time around, I want to do that. So that is the plan. Having done this already once within the past like 9 months made it very easy the second time. This is about 2 days of work, 2.5, and by 2 days I mean like after work, finished work at 5, come out here for about 2.5 hours. So if I had to give hours, I'd probably say it took me about 7 hours to get to this point, maybe even a little less, which is pretty impressive. And then pulling the motors maybe going to be an hour and a half affair, just making sure nothing's in the way. And I have disconnected everything, so we shouldn't have any surprises there, but you never know. So yeah, it should be a quick thing. And even dropping the motor back in, I'm going to do it here in my garage, and again, that's why I'm thinking first start should be before the new year, or maybe on New Year I'll do something cool, who knows. We'll figure it out though. But yeah, so get ready for I guess V2 as we're gonna call it. Anyways, that's all for the update today. Once the motor is out of the car and transported over to the shop, I'll capture some of that, and then once we get started on it, I'll show you the breakdown. I'll show you what we find. There's something that was brought to my attention that could be causing my low oil pressure issue that I didn't even think about the first time, and it makes good sense. It was mentioned to me by a fellow racer who's kind of been doing this a lot longer and has a lot more experience with this kind of stuff than me. Maybe not the same platform, but the same hardware, and it can fail in the same way. So yeah, so we're going to be investigating that, because if that's all it was, then you know what? It sucks that I pulled the whole motor out for that, but at the end of the day, better safe than sorry. Everything's clean inside. There's no damage to anything. Motor makes great compression. If I went to start it, it would still start and run. It just makes low oil pressure. Low oil pressure on idle, low oil pressure while driving. If I didn't have an oil pressure gauge, I would never know, and I probably would have ruined the motor by now. So oil pressure gauges, nice to have. But anyways, that's it. That's gonna be it for this update.